Well, joining me now for an in-depth analysis on the suspension of 15% import duty on petrol and diesel, as well as other matters arising, is Olabode Sowunmi. He's an oil and gas expert. Well, he's joined from Lagos studio by Oladotun Hassann, the convener, Nigeria Coalition Group. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me on the news tonight. I'd like to
Thank you.
Great.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Great. Mr. Hassann, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Fantastic. So I'd like to begin this conversation by asking both of you, but first, Mr. Sowunmi, do we know, I mean, as an industry expert, do we know where we even stand with consumption, local consumption of the commodities we are trying to protect local refineries from? Mr. Sowunmi, does the government know how much Nigeria produces?
They do know. The issue is that there is a revolving statistic in the sense that it's a bit fluid. So in terms of if you need the data to make decisions, you have probably within margin of error on the balance of probabilities, you have the amount to which to make a decision on, which has been what has happened in the past is that there hasn't been a need for exact numbers, because people have needed the numbers for a range of things and all that. So now they need to fine-tune the comb to ensure that they get the exact figures.
So when you talk about numbers now, is that production or consumption? Do we even know either of these two?
You know the two, because first of all, at the production level, at the fuel pump in terms of upstream, there are meters.
Do you by any chance know those figures?
I don't have them off the top of my head, but in terms of what we produce upstream, we are, I think from the figures released by NUPRC, I think we are about 1.5 million barrels per day or thereabout. That's at the last count.
And consumption?
Consumption is a different thing. So because we consume different finished products.
Okay.
So there's naphtha, there's heavy oil, there's diesel, there's petrol, and all that. No, typically, if it is not something that you use on a daily basis, it's not the kind of figures you want to keep on the top of your head.
Yes.
Now, what has happened is that they are able to do a cross-check of the capacity of local production vis-a-vis the amount that is imported and the amount that we consume on a daily basis. So there's a consumption pattern. Okay,
I'll come back to why I'm asking you these questions, because it is based on the government's initial decision. Mr. Hassann, let me come to you. The government has now suspended this, and I stress the word suspended. It has gained mixed reactions. While some have welcomed it, that it's a sigh of relief for Nigerians who would have had to pay more for petroleum products. Others are saying it's just pushing and kicking the can down the road. What's your reaction to this government decision, Mr. Hassann?
Well, actually, we must first of all appreciate the president's initial decision to announce the 15% import duty tariffs on all imported petroleum products. This was as a result of protecting the local refineries and local investment. The announcement as a today that we had was more of a shock to many Nigerians, because Nigerians are more prepared, all embracing of a relief, because we're already feeling the pulse of a relief, because we now have a solution at home. In line with Mr. President's first policy, Nigerian first policy, which is to protect whole local investment. It is as a result of that the Nigerian Coalition Group, the Yoruba Council Worldwide, NANS, so many other civil society groups have raised their voices in concert to support the immediate implementation or total ban on fuel importation. Why is it that? Is that fuel importation has become a huge albatross on our development as a country. It is taking us over 60 years ongoing now. We are yet to get it rightly with our own local refineries founded and established by the government. We have the Port Harcourt refinery, the Enugu Kaduna refinery, but all these refineries put together is not yet functioning because there are huge sabotage by all cabals. These cabals are the one fighting now for survival. They are the one under panicking. They are the one going about trying to use all manners to convince and mislead Nigerians, trying to convince them that the 15% will affect them, will cause a lot of huge hole in their pocket, which is a total no. So why we are saying it is that the solution is now here with us. With the advent of the 650,000 capacity of refinery, this is a huge solution if fully utilized. Why is it not fully utilized? There have not been concurrent or commensurate crude oil to satisfy Dangote refinery, in view of the fact that if this crude oil were being given, the total consumption, which we're looking at by virtue of what we have listened to, is 60 million liters. Dangote alone has a capacity of 100 million liters per day. And what are we now asking the government to do? Protect this local refinery. Give them 100% crude oil, access to crude oil. Ensure that at every given point in time, because there is no need for fuel importation into Nigeria. If this is ended, just like the way we end the sugar importation, the cement importation, all right, local production is still the way to go.
Okay, Mr. Hassann, if you can hear me.
About solution.
Okay, Mr. Hassann, if you can hear me. Mr. Sowunmi, stay with me. I'll come back to you. But Mr. Hassann, I want to stay with you. Are you saying then that the federal government has bowed to pressure of those you refer to as the cabals? Because you make it sound, I mean, it does make a lot of sense, what you have said, economic sense. And I wonder, why do you think the government then reneged on that decision? Or why did they have to change their minds on such a notion that you have painted? Why are they bowing to the cabals? Because that's what you have painted for us tonight.
I'd wish to hear directly from Mr. President, because he's a man I respect so much as a Democrat. And Mr. President, whom I know, will not fall prey to anything under pressure. He understands the demographic of what he's talking about. But for us, it is more of the huge influence. Maybe you wouldn't understand how much capacity these cabals weigh on this country. These are the people who controls every nerve of this country. They are in the military, they are in the politician, they are politicians, they are bankers, they are everywhere that owns the ships. They have the capacity. They are not you and I that talks about just mere naira every day. But the fact that these cabals have been going about, they initially lobbied the government to extend till the first quarter of next year, which I read in the news in one of the medium this evening that it was not a permanent suspension, but extension till the first quarter. So what are we now talking about? Mr. President should not fall prey for this kind of a Waterloo, because it's going to affect the Nigerian masses. The Nigerian masses need a solution, and we have gotten it already. So what we are seeking for is the federal government protection of this refinery, not only Dangote alone. We have over 30 licenses that were given to different investors. We have the BUA that is coming up. We have all other refineries that are growing.
All right, Mr. Hassann, thank you. We hear you. I want to bring this conversation back to Mr. Sowunmi very quickly in the studio. Mr. Sowunmi, I mean, you've heard his argument, and he's not alone. There are those who are making that argument. But there are those who counter it, like the TUC, Trade Union Congress of Nigeria. The president of the TUC was here yesterday on the news, and he says Nigeria has not even attained local sufficiency for us to take such a decision, and that it was counterproductive. It was a no-no to increase tariffs when your local refineries cannot meet daily consumption. So when you look at this argument and the argument of Mr. Hassann, which makes sense.
Let's put some things here.
Yes.
I don't speak in parables. So whether there are there is a mafia or a cabal and all that. I leave that to the politicians. I'm an energy.
And Mr. Hassann, who knows them?
Yes, I'm an energy person. I only speak in terms of energy. Now, first of all, with respect to the policy, it is important to note that there was no such thing as a policy flip-flop. And why I say that is that there was never an announcement on the policy. What happened was a leaked memo. And because
that was an intended policy.
An intended policy. So there was never a decision or an announcement by government that there was a policy. So it was people that was fast-tracking it. So we could say if there was ever a mafia, those behind the leaking of the memo could qualify as a mafia trying to gauge an engagement. But of course, there are other stakeholders in the place. And those people came in, there was back and forth, and the rest of the story we know. Now, when it comes to importation and exportation, the U.S. produces 13 million barrels plus per day, as at today, which is close to 13 times what we produce. Most of their product is refined internally. They still import. There is no nation, including Saudi Arabia, that does not import. What we need to understand is that importation is not the enemy of local production. Because under normal circumstances, importation will be more expensive than normal production. You see, the cost of crude oil is universal because it's a commodity. Just like you have gold, you have copper. The prices may be a few cents different, but they're the same prices. Yeah. The cost of refining is also universal. The people who are importing need to add importation cost, vessel ship cost to theirs. So on what logical basis should importation cost be more expensive than local production? That is something that is pure logic, pure maths, pure science for everybody to wonder. So this concept, rather than us identifying the issues, facing the issues, breaking down the issues, we create myths out of everything. And one of the easiest myths to say is that there's an ojuju behind everything that is causing everything to scatter. The issue is that this is an industry. The issue is that this is a market that is growing and is facing competitive forces. What we are saying as industry people is that it is more critical for Nigeria to ensure energy security than protectionism.
Okay.
Now, protectionism has its place.
All right.
But the whole aim of protectionism is for local industries to be able to grow and compete internationally. If they don't have a limited date for protectionism, what we will just have is overgrown babies that cannot compete. Okay,
overgrown babies. Importation is not the enemy of local refining. Olabode Sowunmi, energy expert, oil and gas energy expert. Thank you so much for being on the news tonight. And Oladotun Hassann says the cabals are the ones behind it and wonders why the government has bowed to their pressure. Oladotun Hassann, thank you so much. He's the convener Nigeria Coalition Group. We thank both of you for sharing your views on the news tonight.